Costco is opening its West Auckland doors in September. It opened its Auckland doors in September and was really the talk of the town, or talk of the country, really. The store made for bulk buying caused a fair bit of traffic chaos, huge queues as people flocked to see what all the fuss was about. So a few months on, has the Costco madness continued? With us now is Managing Director Patrick Noone. G'day.
G'day, how are you? From Sydney.
Yes, well, hello. Thanks for joining us. Wow, that opening week for Costco really was quite something. How would you describe it?
Well, certainly was one of the highlights of my career to see that many people come out and shop at Costco. Our opening's always quite big affairs, but the Auckland opening was a little bit above everyone else for sure. It's very enjoyable.
Why do you think that was? Is it because it was a first for New Zealand as well, just Auckland?
I think that's correct, and there's also a confluence of issues that came on too. From competition reports and reviews to basically a global retailer coming to New Zealand as well. I think all that came together to pique people's interest in what we're up to.
Did you actually have to do any real advertising at all, or does it all sort of look after itself? You sort of put a press release out, people can see the building going up, and everyone just starts talking.
Yeah, we don't do much. We don't do any advertising at all, except sort of email blast to our members. But typically, that's what happens when we come to town. There's a lot of interest that goes on about Costco. We offer great items at great prices and show good value, so people are always interested in coming to take a look.
Were you ready for the traffic? To put traffic management in place, and is that an ongoing issue for you guys?
At the start, we had some numbers out there. We thought, this will be really busy. But then as we got going, we sort of eclipsed those numbers. But I think overall the traffic around the precinct works fairly well. Obviously, it could be improved a bit, but for the most part, I think members can get in and park and shop and go home again. So I think it's working well enough. But it's obvious to us we probably need more Costco's in New Zealand. Spread the traffic out a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Is that a scoop, is it?
Possibly. We're working on a couple of sites. There's a couple of interesting cities. Christchurch and Wellington both look good. Perhaps another Costco in Auckland in the future as well.
Yeah. You mentioned at the start it was a real highlight for you in your career. What was your background before coming to Costco in Auckland?
Oh, it's a good question. I started with Woolworths in Australia, and I was a store manager back in the 80s. I moved to Canada with my Canadian wife in sort of mid-80s. I worked with Loblaws, and then I worked with Costco since 1991. So it's been, and then back here in Australia since 2006. Okay. So of all the openings we've done, Docklands and this one are both very special.
Yeah. How hard was it to keep up the demand in those weeks?
A little tough. We have quite a bit of merchandise staged in New Zealand, but there's different categories that have done better than others. Their confectionery area, for example, with a lot of the salty snacks and some sweet snacks as well, have pretty much sold out within the first week. So we've been working hard to replenish that with shipping. The other areas like the bakery's done extremely well for us. The meat department's done very well. So we're back in stock of most of those items now. But it took us a little bit by surprise to start with.
Just hold there, Patrick. We'll be back in just a moment. This is our summer snapshot. We're talking with Patrick Noone, who is the Costco Managing Director, about about how things have gone in the last few months since their hectic opening in September. This is Tim Beveridge on the Summer Breakfast. It's 12 minutes past 8.
With Challenge, putting the service back into service stations. Newstalk ZB.
Yes, and as part of our summer snapshot, we're talking with Patrick Noone, the Managing Director of Costco's, and how things are going with that amazing, huge store, which opened in September. So it's been a few months now, Patrick. Has the initial flurry started to wear off, or are you seeing record demand?
We're still seeing really good demand. The record flurry sort of calmed down a little bit, but we're still signing up hundreds of members every day, and we're still seeing people buying pretty much the same things we sell in Australia. So I think we're here to stay in Auckland right now, and it's going to continue to grow for us as we go forward. A lot of that's covered off by Christmas rush as well. So it'll be interesting to see how we do January, February, but I'm pretty confident we'll do just as well as we're doing now.
So would you say that New Zealanders have sort of embraced the bulk buying idea, or for some is it a bit of a novelty still?
There's a bit of both, but I think for the most part people have embraced it. We've got a good track record now. We're showing really good value in every area that we operate in there. So people will keep coming back, and our job is now to maintain that loyalty by having the right items at the right prices.
What's your busiest time? Do people sort of spread, do they anticipate that it's going to be crazy on the weekends, so they're sort of heading to you maybe midweek? Or when would I want to come if I was going to try and not avoid the rush?
I'll come early in the week, come at 10 o'clock when we open. It's really interesting. It's pretty much busy at Costco every day, so there's not really a good or bad time. I think getting in early is probably the best time. But we see the traffic, builds around lunchtime, and then again around 7 o'clock at night time when people come home and come out for another shop. So,
do you have numbers you can share with us on how many people have bought Costco memberships in New Zealand?
We don't typically give that information out, but it's over 100,000 members now in that warehouse. So it's a very good result for us.
Just when I think of Costco and absorbing all the news around it, I would imagine, as just an ignorant consumer, that I would be going to Costco and looking for fridges and major appliances maybe. The thing that amazes me is you guys, people love buying chickens from you, roast chickens and huge muffins and things. What's with the food thing? Because it does seem like quite a major trip to pick up some roast, poultry.
It's all about value and saving money. I mean, that chicken, you're saving $3 or $4 on that chicken, and on the muffins you're saving $5 or $6. So if you have a good-sized family, or if you're buying for your business, for example, for resale or reuse in your tuck shop, this represents huge value in the marketplace. And multiply that over a couple of thousand items that we sell, it represents terrific value for families, terrific value for businesses for resale or reuse.
I'm guessing that those people who are buying food, they're doing it sort of in bulk, aren't they? They're not just wandering to Costco for a roast chicken.
You'd be surprised. You come into the warehouse, you can stand at the front and register, and you'll see people buying for all kinds of different uses. And it gets back to that value statement. You save people money, and then they'll find ways to buy from you and reuse or use those products. So,
obviously, you have your Christmas rush and things like that, but what are the other busy times of the year, or is it just a year-round thing for the Costco business?
Pretty much it's year-round. I mean, we have peaks and troughs. Peaks, around Christmas, Easter, and, different cultural events like Chinese New Year and Diwali and things like that. But for the most part, businesses hums along pretty nicely at a consistent volume.
And what about, you mentioned the plans for you've hinted at plans for Christchurch and Wellington, which I guess given the role you play, I'm going to put a little bit of a reliance on that. But when would we expect to hear some announcements for those people who, it's a long way to get to Auckland?
Yeah, that's right. Well, we're still working on sites and deals with the realtors and the landowners, so it takes a little while. I have no announcement to make today, but but we are working. We are working diligently. New Zealand is a terrific market, I think, for us. We offer great value coming into the marketplace. We bring international items down there.
Yeah.
Like Australia, we don't move very quickly, but when we do find a good site, we'll be building as quick as we can.
Do we know how far the biggest journey someone's undertaken to get to Costco?
Well, I heard somebody come from Dunedin down south to drive. They came up to shop at Costco, and that was opening day. Okay. So I thought that was special.
Well, let's hope it just wasn't for a roast chicken. Anyway.
No worries. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, thanks very much for your time, Patrick. Have a great summer.
Thank you. You too.